Hey, how's it going? This is Bill Brock, and today I'm here with a awesome guest. He's a writer, a musician, and even a Bigfoot hunter now. So, introducing Les Stroud. How you doing, Les?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks a ton for taking some time out to talk to me today. I definitely appreciate it.
No worries.
So I just got to jump right in, man, and start talking about what's going on right now. And I want to first talk about your music. You're about to come to Laugh, I believe, right?
Well, I have to sadly say that Laugh has since been canceled. There's been a few political issues that have gone down with the festival over the last while, and I won't be able to make it to Lewiston, Maine this year, but I'll definitely be back. I was there last year and we sold out, and it was just fantastic. So, but I am starting up touring. I've got some small shows happening soon, and then we're looking to launch pretty big in the fall throughout most of the states.
Awesome. Well, that's really great news. I saw your concert last year. You put on one heck of a show. It was definitely really cool, and I recommend anybody that can go see you, go see you. I thought it was great.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. And so the next thing on the agenda is this Bigfoot show that you're doing. I happened to be able to catch the first episode, and I thought it was amazing. And I think you guys did a great job. And can you tell me a little bit about the show, just because a lot of people out there they really don't know what's going on with you? And can you kind of premise your show a bit?
Well, sure. I mean, of course, most people do know the Survivorman show itself, and I think what ended up happening was, of course, I've had my own sort of very strange experiences out there, things that I can't explain, things that make you question. And I actually let that lay dormant for quite a while until a couple of interviews came up and I started talking about, Sasquatch, Bigfoot and that. And what ended up happening was a kind of an explosion of interest, and sort of realized that the combination of Bigfoot, one of the most Googled topics on the internet, and Survivorman, which is, essentially what I do as an outdoor adventurer, survival instructor, and so on, just an incredible combination that works so well. It's like, well, who could find Bigfoot? Who other than Survivorman? Someone who's willing to go out there on his own and spend untold hours, sort of uncounted hours, just waiting to see what could happen, and putting myself right in the middle of things. So it made a lot of sense to me, and it also makes sense on my own interest level. I don't do anything unless I'm really interested and really keen on it and really passionate about it. And I thought, this could be really cool. I could really enjoy exploring the subject matter, but exploring it within the boundaries of who I am as Survivorman, as a wilderness sort of guy, and to see what comes of it. And that led me to essentially developing Survivorman Bigfoot.
That's awesome. So in the first Survivorman Bigfoot episode, you were teamed up with a guy named Todd Standing, which is an incredible Bigfoot researcher. I think he's got quite a resume, and but there is some controversy with Todd, and a lot of people really want to know why you picked Todd Standing to kind of break out into this whole Bigfooting thing.
Well, because first of all, I thought that the footage that he showed me was mind-blowing. That was incredible. But the reality is, I think that a lot of, honestly, I think a lot of people should give their head a shake. He's a Bigfoot expert, and he's controversial. Yeah, go figure. It's a freaking Bigfoot expert. Like, come on, guys, think about it for a second. I had an executive producer from a television network argue with me over them wanting me to use their Bigfoot expert over mine because they heard that Todd might be a fraud. I said, it's a Bigfoot expert. Every single Bigfoot expert out there is considered a fraud, including you, Bill.
Absolutely.
Anybody who's into Bigfoot is considered a fraud. Give your head a shake. For goodness sakes, we're researching something that is rife with mythology and legend and controversy and hoax and reality and mystique and just intrigue. Of course Todd is considered a fraud. Of course his stuff is considered hoaxing. And guess what? So's yours. So's everybody else's. And likely so's anything that I might make a claim on. So my reason for going with Todd was because his footage was compelling enough for me to say, okay, well, hang on a second. There's only, you see, the difference with his footage is this. When I see his footage, there's only two ways that I can go with that answer. Either he is a complete fraud, and his life is dedicating and get on TV and make money, blah, blah, blah. Or it's real. If it's real, then holy crap. Because this is not a blurry thing in the distance that could be a bear. I mean, this is two full front face pictures of something, right? And either it's a mask that's made up and he spent the money to do so, or it's real. But if it's real, then wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow, if it's real. So I'm just like, okay, let's find out which it is. That's all I am. And I'm the same way with anybody else I would work with, including yourself. I go out, I take the role of the person, the viewer, and play the skeptic, but I'm a skeptic that everyone can trust because I do not want to have any bull pulled on me. And I'm ready when I go out with Todd to say, oh, wow, that's pretty incredible, or, nah, I'm not buying it. Right. I'm ready to say either or. Until I see one myself, I'm ready to say either or. So I'm sort of tangenting on you, but that's why I went with Todd, you know? I thought his stuff was compelling. Of course people think he's a hoax.
Right, so at the end of the day, you basically went with Todd because his evidence was compelling, and you're willing to give any researcher out there a chance to prove what he or she may have. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Absolutely. And you know yourself, I mean, the analogies that have been made. We never used to believe there was such a thing as a big squid, which is all legend, you know, and then they found one, you know. And way, way, way back when, the legends of mass monster gorillas up in the mountains in Africa were just like mythology, and they found them, you know, and on, right? So there's lots of intrigue here, and you're right. I'm willing to give everybody who's into this subject matter the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, some of them are going to waste my time. Some of them are going to blow my mind, and everything in between.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really amazing. I want to talk about a little bit about the show, the actual first episode that has been put out. On the show, a lot of focus was really put on tree breaks. Was there any additional research that went into the tree breaks, or do you think that there should be?
There was off camera. There was a certain amount with it, and I think to answer your second question, I would say absolutely. I mean, from my point, if we're going to discover evidence, then there needs to be some science behind the evidence. If I were to encourage any particular Bigfoot researcher, you know, Todd included, it would be, where's the measurements? I want to know, like, is there any consistency? How far apart are they? You know, how common and what, you know, what's the commonality to all of these things? That would be, I think, effort that needs to be expended. It's not enough to say there's a whole bunch of conspicuous tree breaks in a forest. That's not enough. You want to say, well, actually, every time I find them, they always point north, or they're always 8 feet tall, or, you know, I'm making that up, but you get my point. Is I want to know the science behind them, and that, the thing is, that helps a lot, because if someone says, look, they're just a bunch of random, silly breaks because of snow load, you can say, random? Well, let me tell you something, and then you bring the scientific statistics into it, and I think that could be very, very helpful. In fact, it also can be very helpful in proving that it is nothing. You know, either way.
So it sounds like there might be a possibility, kind of like an opening for maybe some more Survivorman Bigfoot episodes.
Oh, you can bet there is. Yeah, in my world, there definitely is. I think the public, certainly, for example, up in Canada where they aired the episode already, I mean, it went through the roof with the ratings. There's definitely a hunger for this kind of information, and I, you know, I don't sound a little vain, but I think there's a hunger for having Survivorman be the guy to continue to do this sort of stuff. I'm talking a little bit in the third person, but I like it, and people, when they watch the episode, they'll get it, think, I get it. So Les is basically being me. He's being me out there, you know. He's really going for it, but he's not going for it with his eyes closed. He's got his eyes wide open, you know, and then ready to challenge whatever's coming.
Well, that's awesome, and you know, in ending, I'd really like to know what your take is on Bigfoot now. What do you think about it now that you've been out Bigfooting for a while and had some experience in this? Do you think that this thing is a possibility now? I mean, where do you stand?
I'm gonna answer it this way. Just that it's I still haven't seen one. And until I see, I mean, seeing is obviously believing, and I haven't seen one yet. But what I want to say is that I still have the same question. With all the evidence that is out there, from the rock throwings and the sightings and the vocalizations and the tracks and the DNA samples, the concept of gigantic, on and on and on. I do feel that the intrigue is definitely there, that the possibility is worth exploring. And I don't mean, I don't want to come across as ridiculously vague or even agnostic about it. It's just that I haven't seen one yet. But that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess I'll end it there because I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of stuff happening, buddy. But again, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me about Bigfoot and Survivorman Bigfoot. And I hope you the best out there.
All right. Thank you very much, Bill.
All right. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.